Yes, it's another weekly vlog. My name is Gina. This is the Library Mouse. I talk about books, I talk about reading, I talk about cats, and anything else that strikes my fancy. So you're never gonna know. You're never gonna know what you're gonna get. So this week, I offer no guarantees about what you're gonna see. The only thing I can guarantee, oh, it's my microwave, is that we are going to story time at a new bookstore I discovered, and I will be making a video about different bookstores that I visit. That's on my agenda. I have contractors coming to put in new windows in the other part of my house, which I don't like. I get very anxious when I know that I have contractors coming in and they're going to be here all day, and I have 10 animals that I need to corral and put somewhere because none of the cats, like this one, none of the cats go outside. So we're going to try to keep them inside. So we have that going on. We're hiking today with my son. Fingers crossed that that's still going on. And a dinner party with some friends. And books. Of course. Books. Reading, right? Maybe a library trip. So stick around and welcome to the vlog. That hike. It was beautiful, but when I got home, I looked up how many stairs we climbed today. So we went from the one waterfall. Well, we went from one part to this top of this hill where there's a train trestle, and that was 237 steps up and then down. And then we went to another part of the falls. So it was 127 steps times 2. So all in all, that was a lot of steps today. A lot. My quads were killing when I was done. I'm like, you young people, go ahead. So I came home and I worked, and then I was too tired to do anything else. So I am going to do a little reading now, and then I will chat with you about how my Shorty September has gone, because already it's going to be October in a couple of days, which just does not seem real to me. So I'll catch you in a few when I let's talk books. All right, well, as promised, I wanted to check in with how Shorty September went and just talk a little bit about the books that I read. I did not get to, obviously, all the prompts, but I'm considering it a win because it did help me get back into the swing of reading every day and finding good books, which was good because I really, really have not been reading a lot. Just the the desire to read and the focus to stay reading has not been there, coupled with the fact that I'm working at home. But this job is a job where I can do it at any time. If I got up in the middle of the night and I wanted to log in and work, I could. But that messes with me because anytime I have free time now, I'm thinking I should just log in and work. I should not be reading. I should be working. So I need to get over that. So let's take a look at what I actually did read in September. So the premise of Shorty September is that you would be reading books that are on the shorter side, like 200, 250 pages. And there were different prompts that went with it. One was a mystery, suspense, thriller book. I read Sweet Jiminy by Kristen Gore. It was an excellent history mystery. A girl goes to her grandmother's farm in the South She kind of left law school and escaped. And while she's there, she learns about a murder in their community that took place during the civil rights unrest of the 60s. And her romantic lead, so to speak, they go on a quest to find out what exactly happened the night that these two people were murdered. And it was very good. It definitely is short. It moved quickly. I really liked Kristen Gore's writing style. She has written 2 previous novels. One was a bestseller, Sammy's Hill and Sammy's House. She's also written for Futurama and Saturday Night Live. So that's kind of cool, but I did enjoy this book quite a bit. So this was the suspense mystery prompt. Then for the prompt, which was a comfort read, usually I take a comfort read as rereading an old favorite. I decided to expand that prompt a little bit, and I picked out a book that I thought would be comforting to read. I thought the plot seemed sweet. And it was. It's The Same Bright Stars by Ethan Joella. I really, really enjoyed this book. The basic plot is that a 50-something-year-old man who has owned the family restaurant his entire life has to make the decision, does he keep the restaurant on Rehoboth Beach or does he sell to a bigger corporation? And in doing so, he questions a lot of things about his life. What does he want out of life? And there's a little romance thrown in. I like the way the romance is thrown in because it's not the focus of the book, but it's there. So definitely recommend this for the comfort read portion of Shorty September. Okay, so one prompt was read a book from the 70s or 80s. I decided to go with Barbara Kingsolver's debut novel, The Bean Trees. I believe this came out in 1988. I have read this, yes, I have read this before, or I started to read it. I remembered the plot, but I don't think I ever finished it. This time I did, and I am very glad I did. It's a very, very good book, very character-driven, much like Demon Copperhead. It tells the story of Taylor. She's a girl who has grown up in rural Kentucky, very poor. She buys herself a cheap car and drives west. As she's heading west, she stops for food and a woman pretty much just gives her a baby. The baby is wrapped up. She's like, here, you need to get the baby out of here. Later on, it comes into our knowledge that the child had been severely abused. So Taylor doesn't even think twice about it. She just drives along with the baby and basically becomes the baby's mom. Her car breaks down and she winds up living in the town where her car broke down. It's a very small town, and she befriends the woman who owns the tire shop. She gets a job there. She begins living with the single mom across the street, and it is a story of found family, and I love that theme in a book. She becomes friends and family with Maddie, the tire shop owner, Luann, the girl who lives across the street that she winds up having as a roommate, as well as the Guatemalan couple that live above Maddie's tire shop, and we soon learn is a sanctuary for undocumented workers who are coming to the United States. And they stay there, much like the Underground Railroad. They stay there until they are moved to a safer place. And it also is a investigation and into what is humanity, how do you take care of your neighbor, and what's right and what's wrong at the most basic level, taking politics out of it. This was in the 80s. It was an issue then, and unfortunately, we are still having the same discussions now. But excellent, excellent book. The ending was extremely satisfying. I was very happy when I was done. So that's only 3 books for Shorty September. I did read another book that was not part of Shorty September, which was Someone's Listening by Serafina Nova Glass. That was a suspense novel. It was also very good. I liked it a lot. I DNF'd The Full Moon Coffee Shop. I'm sad about that because I really, really thought that this was going to be a good book. And I have come to realize just fantasy is not my jam. And this was not well-written fantasy. And it could be the translation. I felt that it was very surface level. I didn't enjoy the characters. I didn't like the plot where the coffee shop would pop up whenever and wherever you would need it. And it was served by talking cats. And the talking cats would give you the tea or the food and the drink that they feel that you need to help you with whatever is going on in your life. And then they would read your horoscope, basically. Maybe someday I'll try it again, but not my favorite. I got halfway through and decided I didn't want to read any more. This was for the read a translated book prompt for Shorty September. That's my September wrap up. I am headed to the library, so come along and we'll see what books I can haul in. Also, I just have to say that in between all of my vlogging, I got new windows in my house. My windows were from, I think, the 50s. And I couldn't see out of them because I could never wash them because I'm upstairs. And you can see I had to move everything, but so much light. I'm so thrilled with my window situation right now because my windows were very, very old. But yes, I'm just thrilled. And even better, I thought I had rotten wood on the front of my house, and the contractor got up there. He had primed cedar for me, and he got up there and took a deeper look at it, and he's like, yeah, your cedar's not, oh, look who's in here. Hello. My bag of library books. Come on. It wasn't rotted. So I didn't have to have any of that done. I just had my drip plate fixed. So that was great. Let's keep my fingers crossed that the car situation I'm dealing with is as smooth. But right now I have been stuck in the house for 2 days because I've had to monitor contractors. So we are headed to the library. So come along. So some other things that I'm looking for at the library today is a classic, so I can keep working on Suey's Classic 6 challenge. And I'm going to take a look and see what book I should be getting for Book and Book Dia's challenge also. Plus, trying to work on Ellen at Ellen Made Book Club's bingo. So all of those things I am going to attempt to find something to go with. And I will share, I was just looking at the cat across the street. It's the feral cat. I'm like, oh good, she's in someone else's yard too. And yeah, I'll share what I get. Okay, that was a successful mission. I didn't get a lot of books, but yeah, I will definitely share my haul when I get home, I'm going to do a little shopping. See if I can get some decor. I need a new hoe because mine broke as I was gardening. So let's see what we can find. Okay, I'm back from the library. I also went to Ocean City Big Lots. No, Ocean City Job Lots. It took the place of Big Lots around here. It's the strangest named store ever, and it's very similar to Big Lots, but I just bought some food there. They have different food, imported food, food that you're not normally going to find on your shelf at Walmart or even Wegmans, or Trader Joe's. So I got some food and let me share my book haul. So I don't think I did a very good job of picking out anything for any of my challenges, but they caught my attention. So the first one is a book that actually, I remember reading it, and I think that I mentioned it as a TBR a long time ago from maybe BookBub, and it's Jennifer Weiner, who I absolutely love, and it is the Griffin Sisters' Greatest Hits. So this book is about two sisters, Zoe and Cassie. They're a year apart, but very different. One is the pretty sister, charming, singing into her hairbrush. Cassie is the musical protege, but is more of an introvert and doesn't like that attention. So they actually wind up becoming a star sensation group in the early 2000s called the Griffin Sisters. And, they go on MTV and they're in Rolling Stone. But then after a year of like super mega stardom, it sounds like, they break up. And it's 20 years later. Zoe's a housewife and Cassie is living off the grid, and the sisters aren't speaking, but we don't know why they're not speaking, and it is a mystery. And so Zoe's teenage daughter wants to find out what's the story between her mom and her aunt. I loved, one of my favorite standout Jennifer Weiner books is Mrs. Everything. It was so good. If I can remember, I'll link the video where I talked about it, but if not, you can look it up, but it's really, really good. So I'm looking forward to this book. Totally different genre. We've got Elfie. It is A Wicked Childhood by Gregory Maguire. He is the author of Wicked. He also wrote Confessions of an Ugly Stepsister. That's the book that I read last summer, I believe, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. I like that he takes fairy tales and stories and puts his own twist on them. I found that the Confessions of the Ugly Stepsister was an easier read for me than Wicked, and I never finished Wicked. So I'm hoping Elfie is going to be more along the lines of the stepsister book, and that it's going to hold my interest. So basically, as you could probably guess, it is the story of Elphaba. This is the coming of age story of Elphaba. So it should be interesting. I'll let you know how that is. But I saw it, I'm like, I want to give this a try because I did like his other book. Then the other book, and I picked it out, I liked the cover. It is called The Sunflower House by Adriana Allegri. It is a historical fiction book. It does take place during World War II. I have been trying to avoid them. There's so many World War II historical fiction books out there. This sounds different. So basically what this is, it's about a girl named Alina Strauss. She lives in Germany. It's 1939. Adolf Hitler is the chancellor, and her family hides a secret that her birth mother was Jewish, which means she's a Mischling. So eventually, after a fatal night of losing her entire family, she's forced into service as a nurse at a state-run baby factory called Hochland Home. So this is when she becomes the witness and participant to Heinrich Himmler's ruthless eugenics program. It says it's meticulously researched historically. I appreciate that. I don't want to read historical novels that are not historically accurate. And they're talking about these homes, Lebensborn homes. So the women of pure blood stayed in these homes for the sole purpose of having babies. It's like The Handmaid's Tale. But she has to keep her Jewish identity a secret. It sounds really, really good. The author, this is her debut novel. She lives in New York City with her 2 cats. No, she was from New York, but now she lives in Arizona with her 2 rescue cats, and this is her first novel. I'm excited to see how this is. So those were my 3 fiction books. I am reading The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. That I have on Kindle, but I wanted to get some other books. I wanted, I don't know, something to make me focus on like gratitude and happiness. Look at Dusty. He wants to get out so bad. So the first book is called The Gratitude Diaries. It is written by Janice Kaplan, and it's how a year looking on the bright side can transform your life. So it is a memoir backed by research. It says she spends a year living gratefully and gains a fresh outlook that transforms her marriage, life, work, health, and everyday experiences. But she also has extensive interviews with people like, I don't know, celebrities, which I really could care less. I would like to hear more from like therapists or psychologists, something like that. But I figured that I would try it and see, you know, how it goes. And then this book, I love Wayne W. Dyer, and I have never read this book of his. It's called Real Magic: Creating Miracles in Everyday Life. I love listening to him speak. He's passed away, but I just feel like he's just a very spiritual, insightful person. So in this book, he reveals 7 beliefs central to working miracles in our everyday lives, from creating a miracle mindset and achieving change in the areas of health, prosperity, and fulfilling loving relationships, to believing in the magic of miracles on a global scale. But it's not, like they said, it's not the kind of miracle where, you know, I'm changing water to wine or anything like that. It's how all the ingredients of a perfect life are here. So we'll see what he has to say. And that is my library haul. So I don't know which one I want to read. Like I said, I am currently reading The Last Quinista. It's a science fiction young adult book. It won the Newbery in 2022. I am enjoying it, actually. Who knows? Maybe I'll wind up liking science fiction more than fantasy, because I don't generally read either of those genres. So we'll see. So I don't know. I think I'll pick a nonfiction book to kind of go along with The Last Quinista, like a fiction and a nonfiction. So yeah, I'm going to sit outside because it's way warmer outside than it is in my house and read for a little while. Look at this. Mama cat, who I could not touch a couple of years ago. Huh? Let's start with this book and a snack. Well, I did get a little bit of reading done. I read the Wayne Dyer book. And you know what? Then I indulged in some YouTube and The Golden Bachelor that I had in my library that I had to watch this week. And so now I'm clocking in to do a little bit of work. I'm going to do some scoring, and then I think I'm going to take a nice hot bubble bath, and I am going to read Elfie. I think that's what I'm going to read. Maybe. We'll see. But I figured I'm going to set myself 45 minutes, and then I'm going to stop for the night. It's 8:36, and I really don't like working past 9:30, 10 o'clock. Because I go to bed around 11. So that's what I'm going to do. Well, I decided to go with the Jennifer Weiner book to read in the bathtub. The Griffin Sisters' Greatest Hits. Whoops, the dog is hitting me. It's very good. It's very good. I love Jennifer Weiner. This book is starting out with the same kind of theme of sisterhood. The same as, I think it was Mrs. Everything that also had kind of the same thing going. Two sisters, the bond that they have, how their lives grow apart, how they come together. And it seems like that's what this book is going to be about. Then I read this and I started to watch the series Afterlife with Ricky Gervais about a man whose wife recently passed away from cancer, and yeah, tugging at the heartstrings, but it's very, very good too. So now I'm headed to bed, and we'll see what reading and book adventures we can get into tomorrow. It is a cold morning. I know I complained about the heat in August because it was so hot. But it is chilly this morning. Back to wearing my old standbys. I'm going to try to get a dog walk in this morning. I'm just making my coffee, having my breakfast, and I think that I'm going to sit and read some real magic while I'm eating. I'll show you what I'm eating. Okay, well, I have Hattie here, and goodness, I look like a fresh mess. Is that such a thing? Anyway, we are off to do a little walking. Nothing major, no hike. We're just walking. So we're going up to the local park, and we're going to try to get in a mile or two. We'll see. I have concerns about Nellie, my other dog, so I don't want to be gone long. She had a mini stroke back at the end of August, I think it was, and the vet said it might occur again. So I want to get home and double check on her. She's fine right now, so yeah. So I do need to get this one a walk because she has been extremely anxious. I think having contractors here for 2 days, she's getting a little growly with her sister, and she's chasing the cats more. So I think even with playing outside, she's got way too much excess energy. So off we go for a walk, huh? It's so nice out right now. And I'm going to be reading the Griffin Sisters' Greatest Hits. . Look who's up here. I can't even eat out here in peace. Get. Go away. Get. Look. She's got food. No, Mommy. Get. Well, today has been a busy day. I got a lot of reading actually done in the Griffin Sisters, and I'm still really enjoying it. I sat outside on the deck until it got too dark for me to see what I was reading. I came in and worked. Now, it's getting dark so early, it just seems so late at 7:30 because it's pitch black out, and I hate when it gets dark so early. Tomorrow, actually, my daughter and I are going to a ceremony, a remembrance ceremony that the palliative care floor at the hospital where my husband was at, anyone who was on the floor in the last year, they're doing a remembrance ceremony up in the city where the hospital is. So we're going to leave early and we're going to go to that. It's just my youngest daughter and myself. The other kids didn't feel like they could handle it at this point. I get a lot more solace from being around people who feel the same as me and who've had the same experience as me. But they are kind of the opposite. Like my one daughter's like, I don't think I can handle so much sadness in one room. So I'm going to that, but then I think that I'm going to go to a fall fest on the way home at a local winery. And then I'm going to try to get over to a local bookstore that's in the same village because I'm putting together a bookstore crawl kind of video. And so I'm going to add to that. So I will see you in the morning. Okay, well, I'm waiting for my daughter. She ran into McDonald's, but we are on our way to the memorial, like the remembrance ceremony at the Academy of Medicine. So we're headed up there. It's going to be a rough one, I think, but I think this probably will be the last portion of the video. We'll see. We'll see how it all goes today.
I know, I feel great. I wish it was more set up, but I can't do this.
Oh, but it looks really pretty. Well, I'm home from the ceremony. It was extremely beautiful, but extremely sad. My daughter and I cried through the entire slideshow, from beginning to end. Just seeing everybody else there with their family members on the screen, it's heartbreaking, is what it is. It was held in an absolutely gorgeous old building in Rochester, the Rochester Academy of Medicine. One day I would love to go back and film it. I didn't feel it was the time or the place to bring out a camera and do that, but they had a really nice reception afterward. And then after that, I felt like I needed to do something fun. So I went to a pop-up Fall Fest at a local winery. My son's girlfriend sells homemade cakes there. She has a little cakery. So I went, hung out with them for a little bit, went to a bookstore. You will have to check my bookstore video, which I'm hoping to get done in the next week or so, where I don't think I can officially call it a book crawl because I'm not doing it all in one day, a bookstore crawl, but we're going to be visiting a few different indie bookstores, and I'm going to share with you a glimpse of them and then show you what I got. So I'm not going to even I might give you a sneak peek, but that's about it. You'll have to watch that video to find out how it all went and what I bought. So on that note, I am going to leave you with Chuck's portion of the show. I don't want to show a ceremony. Chuck's portion of the ceremony. And happy reading, and come back soon. See you on the next video.